Welcome to TruPowur, home of the most powerful marketing tools, training, and technology on planet Earth. Get ready to earn, enjoy, and experience more than you ever dreamed was possible. If you're tired of just getting by and ready to really thrive, then buckle in and listen up. Here's your host, Matt Fox.
Hello and welcome to TruPowur Academy, where we don't just talk about building a business, we teach you how to live it. Today we're kicking off an 8-part Back to Basics series led by one of the most experienced and inspiring leaders in our industry, Allison Fox. Allison has helped countless entrepreneurs not only launch but truly thrive in their virtual businesses. And over the next 8 weeks, she is going to be walking you through the exact steps to take control of your time, your income, and your future. We're starting with week 1, Walk Me Through Your Virtual Company, a powerful foundation session where you'll discover how to level up your workspace so every day starts with focus and momentum, mastering your mindset so that you're thinking like a CEO, not just a salesperson, and structuring your day for maximum results, knowing exactly what to do and when to do it. And the most important part is painting a vivid picture in your own success so you're not just dreaming about where you'll be in 90 days, you're mapping the exact path to get there. Allison's going to show you what showing up really means and how to own your own time and how to start creating the kind of results that will make you and your family proud and your bank account smile and your career unshakable. So grab your notes, silence your distractions, and lean in because week 1 starts right now with Allison Fox and Walk Me Through Your Virtual Company.
Today on TruPowur Academy, we begin an 8-session series on the fundamentals of growing a virtual business based on my experience over the past 25 years of helping founders. Whether you are brand new to running a company or you're an experienced broker, we will focus on getting back to the basics. Today, we'll explore this and walk me through your virtual company. Let me go ahead and share my screen. In today's sessions on Walk Me Through Your Virtual Company, I'm going to guide you through the process of visualizing where you need to arrive when you are successful in launching your business. This will start with very fundamentals, but it will help you have an opportunity to think about how you want to structure your day, your work environment, and ultimately what you will teach to folks that you bring on board to work with you. The first concept that we address in a digital business is how do you create a physical workspace for you to be successful? Having a designated area in your home or going to an office or going to a co-working location, you need to decide where you're going to be doing business, and it needs to be a designated area so that when you are ready to get started, it is physically ready for you to sit down and get on the phone. This ultimately also means you must have reliable internet. You need to have some sort of a solution related to a headset, whether that is wireless or that is wired. And you need to understand also about how you're going to display our technology stack and platform on your desktop. Will you have 1 monitor, 2 monitors? You need to commit to pen to paper to determine what those needs may be. If you're going to be doing this from home for the time being, or whether it's going to be in a co-working space, also give some consideration to the furniture you'll be sitting on so that you're able to remain comfortable and stay on the phones as long as possible and are sensitive to the impact that it has on your outlook and your energy levels. Once we've decided where we're going to conduct business, then we have to talk about how we're going to show up to actually do the business. And it's very important to think about that one of the tools in your arsenal is your mindset and how you physically arrive ready to embrace the day and get on the phones, or what I like to refer to as how to show up. If you're going to be in a sales environment and you're going to be in a virtual environment and you're presenting to potential customers on Zoom, you need to be prepared to walk into a virtual client visit at any given time. So take some moment to decide, what is my uniform going to be when I arrive to do business? Is it going to be in a button-down shirt or something that is business casual? Whatever it's going to be, understand that as you're presenting ideas on Zoom, you're likely going to have to talk to customers, and you should be in a position that once you turn the camera on, you're able to address their concerns if they'd like to do a FaceTime or a video meeting like today. So keep that in mind. And when we do show up, whether we're in the mood to be positive and excited about being there, some folks like to call it faking it until you make it. I prefer to say you need to rally. And this can be as simple as putting a mirror in front of the monitor when you're going to be on the phone, or it can be that you get a wireless headset and you walk as you deliver sales pitches. Whatever that's going to be in a situation where you set yourself up mentally to get the work done. Some of the ways that you can shift your mindset if you're coming out of an employee background is to think like a CEO. How, if you were a business owner and you are a business owner and you're approaching other business owners, how do you think those folks that are going to be your primary targets are coming to work? They're thinking strategically like a CEO to run a viable business. There's absolutely no reason why you can't have a large, viable business just like them. But in order to make that switch, you're going to need to change your mindset, because I can tell you with 100% certainty, if you cannot visualize yourself as the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, you will never become one. And so as we build this into reproducible building blocks, think of it as your CEO mindset. When we arrive to work, we don't have time for being down or scared or stressed or any of these things. We have to arrive with a productive mindset, with the grit to start the day and persevere during the day, even if you're not surrounded by people and you're not necessarily answering to somebody about your results. You are answering to yourself for your results. So think like a CEO, behave like a CEO, come to work, ready to help our businesses reap the benefits of some of the ways to optimize the power industry. Some of the attributes that you'll leverage in order to do that is a positive attitude, or at least a neutral attitude, having an active listening style when we're on the phone, where we're able to empathize with these business owners' business reality of rising power costs, rising other services expenses. These companies need us to help optimize how they spend money. And so we want to be active listeners as we hear what they say are their business issues that we can address with empathy and with patience. Be curious about their business. Show some interest in their business. If it looks like it's a promising big customer, you prepared a proposal for a couple 100,000 kilowatts annually, understand about their business, read the news on their websites, have curiosity and initiative to be the best provider for that customer as you can be. And get through the tough parts of the day with grit. I mean, it is not easy to build a successful business. It's showing up, it's doing the work, it's picking yourself up when you fail, it's reminding ourselves of the wins when we're downtrodden and we don't know where the next step is. As somebody very dear to me once said, all you need is the light for the next stair on the step. You don't need to solve this overnight, but you do need to have the right attitude and the grit to persevere when it becomes difficult. Have some confidence in your ability to be successful. If you can imagine it in your mind and you can visualize that success, you're 90% there. And be competitive with yourself. Try to outpace yourself. I try to be 1% better every single day. Challenge yourself to a similar type of thing and commit to showing up and working as hard as possible for whatever schedule you commit to for as long as possible, because that is exactly what it's going to take. This is not a low endurance sport. So when we're thinking about where we ultimately need to be, you need to paint a picture in your mind of what that is physically going to look like is in terms of your daily cadence. And what I mean specifically about that is I visualize myself being at my desk at a specified day, at specified time, ready to qualify leads, start dialing for dollars. I easily move around the dialer. I don't have to think about it. It comes to me very easily. I know where my templates are. I know how to do a disposition of a lead. I know how to end a call. I know how to annotate it. I know how to check the square footage. I know how to look at the average billing. These things, the more granular and the more that you can put yourself in that experience and feel that experience, feel yourself sitting at the desk, excited to get on the phone, ready to meet the next person who's going to benefit from meeting you, bringing value to your existing customers, and pushing yourself to bring your highest and best self. And be excited to start work every day. I feel that I'm making small but important improvements every single day. When I show up to work in a uniform and I have a designated workspace, my family, if I'm working in a home office environment, they respect my boundaries. They can see mom is at her desk ready to work. It is not the time to ask her for sandwiches. It's not the time to ask her, where something is. If it's, in a different situation, you can visualize that you're creating a aura about yourself that you are running a business. You are the CEO of a company. Not many of them get asked for a ham sandwich or a ride to the mall. It just doesn't happen. So visualize yourself and what you would show up and what kind of ways that people can meet you in that experience. Feel confidence that I can walk them also through the value that I bring to the business, and the things are starting to come together. In 90 days, 6 months, little things will start to connect the dots in your mind. Things that felt very clunky and not not accessible to you will become very easy. And when you visualize what you feel like when you're sitting at your desk and you sit in that reality, it does something. It triggers in us a subconscious ability to complete that action. See yourself as a power expert. What would a power expert do in their spare time? Would they look what's happening in utility news? Would they look at what's happening in fuel? Would they look at what's happening in power plant building? What would they do to be somebody that's a trusted advisor? See yourself kind of using that time wisely and reach out to customers that would benefit from that information proactively when you see yourself in that day-to-day thing where you're a trusted advisor and you're also doing phone work, you're going to feel differently than somebody who's looking for a plan. And that confidence that you get in that is all the difference in the world. This is best laid out. If you want to think about this some more, there's a very good book I read 30 years ago, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I can tell you this with certainty. If you cannot visualize yourself in that success arena, it is never going to happen. So take a moment to think about how you might feel, sit with it, how your family will approach your busier schedule, how you'll feel when your tone of voice is affected with that level of assurity. I'm so relieved in that visualization that you've done the hard work, that things are moving forward. But I'm telling a story that is just one version of this. It can be whatever version you want it to be, but do not skip this process. If you cannot see it in your mind's eye, it is not going to happen. That brings us to the schedule aspect of your virtual business. When is the office open? Is it open at 8 a.m. Eastern? Is it open at 8 p.m. Pacific? This is going to have profound impacts on your business hours and your availability. And once you have a handle on whether you're going to have a geo focus or you're going to have let's say a functional focus, you need to have a very clear understanding. If you look at your watch and it's 10 a.m., you need to know what you need to be doing at that time. So when interruptions happen, which they always do, because somebody gets sick at school and needs to be picked up, the washer and dryer goes out, the dog runs away, whatever it may be, you must have a strong understanding of, after the interruption happens, where do I need to be and what do I need to be doing without thought? So commit to a schedule and get ready to do it. This schedule can be anything that works for you, but this is just two examples of what a sample schedule would be and what your schedule may be. I've done both of these, and they're both very effective. One of them is golden hours. Some of you may have experienced working in a predictive dialer call center where the calls are loaded for you. All you need to do is hit a release button and you move on to the other button. Other people need to be very focused on outward bound dials. Using our CRM dialer, you're going to have to get on the phone and actually push the next button and do a disposition. But you need to be aware that you should be targeting anywhere from 150 to 200 calls. So in this particular 2-model schedule, you'll see golden hours where you'll have a morning session and an afternoon session with designated periods during that day to check email and do administrative work. The rest of the time, you should be aiming on rewarding yourself for that behavior, but you're going to be counting the actual dials manually so that you can understand whether you can take a break or not, or if you're trending towards hitting your goal. In that schedule, the golden hour schedule that's on the left-hand side, it's engineered to collect 1 bill a day, generate 750 calls over a week, ultimately collecting 5 bills in a work week, which will annualize into 225 bills. On the other hand, if you want to do a more sprint-based approach, which is something I've used in managing multiple time zones, you can have sprints of just 50 dials each. So if you're going to cover the East Coast and you're in Mountain, you can do your first sprint during their 8 a.m. and use that as a sprint. Do 50 calls or whatever you want the sprint to be, and then take a 7-minute break. And in both cases, I strongly encourage you to take a break. You're not working for anyone else. You're not in a bullpen or a call center where someone's not giving you bathroom breaks. Manage your physical stamina by actually taking breaks, or gamify this process for you. I have to gamify things, okay, because I'm not going to do 200 dials unless there's some little tiny incentive. I'm a carrot person. I do not do well with the stick, but in either case, taking breaks is important to reset our voice, our energy, and what we bring to the table, and also our health. This needs to be a sustainable model. And if you just sit all day, you will burn out. So build in the things that you need to have the stamina for the long haul. So in the sprint-based thing, it could be 8 to 10 a.m., whatever time zone you want, 50 calls, 7-minute break, midday, you have 4 sprints. The difference in the results between the two schedules is based on 4 sprints or 3 calling areas. You'll notice in both of them, I've also included time to check your email, check your voicemail, or what I call closest to the dollar. In my previous industry, which was both the software industry and also executive search, we talked a lot about doing activities that are closest to the dollar. And what I mean by that is the very first thing that I work on when I'm following up on things is the thing that is closest to the dollar. Who has a check for me today? Who is sending me a contract today? Who is setting up an appointment to me? It can go on and on and on, but always focus on the thing that's going to bring you the greatest revenue return first before you do anything else. Because if you run down the rabbit hole of trying to find, call somebody back, get a bill, try to answer someone else's question, you will run yourself ragged, and the work will never go away. So bake in specified time box slots. Do as much as you can during that time period. And unless the house is on fire, move on to the next thing. You can see that it's not even linear. If you do the 4 sprints, you get 500 bills, which is almost 100% return on investment. However, understand that carrying different time zones and that kind of volume, it's very tough over the long haul. So just keep that in mind. And if you're going to do it, do yourself a favor and bake in some breaks. And on that topic, I'd like to also address something that the over-prepare syndrome. One of my dear agents here at TruPowur that I've been working with recently reminded me of a quote that I love, which is, done is better than perfect. So no, you don't need, we've taken the guesswork in the customer success organization. We've taken the guesswork out of the building blocks you need in order to build a business effectively. You don't need a ton of time to try to figure out the wheel, but you do need to get started. Now is that time that you've been dreaming of to own your own business and build a repeatable, scalable model. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. That was Zig Ziglar, my first sales trainer 30 years ago. I believe getting back to the basics, there's a lot of wisdom in some of the things of years before. Are there gee whiz new things, AI dialers, automation? I don't even want to go there right now. Your number one goal in the first 90 days is to stay on the phone and build momentum in building your book of business. Investigating other things like other ads, that is not something that we are in a position to evaluate. After you have a lucrative book of business, if there are key ways that we can automate business processes, help other folks get smart fast on the technology, then that's something we can look at then. But for the immediate future, during your back to basics mental mindset, you need to be prepared to do just the hard work. And you don't need to be great, but you have to start to be great. So as you think about these topics over the next 8 weeks, give yourself some stretch goals on where you want to be at the end of the 8 sessions. Over the next 90 days, before the end of the year, we're very close to the end of the year. We only have about a quarter and a half left. The people that you're talking to on the phone today potentially could be cashing 5-figure checks in time for Christmas and New Year's. And that could be the difference between somebody keeping their business open, letting somebody go, making hard decisions about cutting out niceties. The work that you do today by these building blocks that we talked about today, and talking to customers, bringing your highest and best self, being a trusted advisor to them, showing up with a CEO mindset, holding yourself accountable, creating a workspace to thrive. All of these things can be translated into real value for our customers that could be really struggling right now. And so think about these things over the next while as you grow the fundamentals of your business. What can you do to level up? Where are you going to do your business? What mindset are you going to take when you show up? How are you approaching it? How are you setting the tone for the people in your life? If you don't have supportive people in your life, at least avoid the people that are unsupportive. But be prepared that as you have a mindset and you become mentally committed to it, to embrace the suck, as we say in the military. I'm not former military, but everyone else in my life is. Embrace the suck as you have a mindset approach. It's not we're not going to try this for a couple weeks. We're doing this. Where there is a will, there is a way. I know that for a fact. Mindset is everything. Paint a vivid picture in your mind and put your subconscious mind to work, moving obstacles out of your way on time sucks, negative energy, talking yourself out of success, being afraid of the phone, call reluctance in all forms. Paint a vivid enough picture in your mind that you overcome the bullshit and the drama of trying to set yourself up to fail. Picture instead what it looks like for you to succeed. How are you going to feel? What am I going to look like? How's my family going to feel about it? How am I going to spend the money for New Year's Eve? I don't care what it is you have to do to motivate yourself, but the more granular you can get with that image, 100%, the fact that that's going to materialize. And if you can't visualize that, you only have yourself to ask, why didn't I get there? Because if you paint a strong enough image in your mind and you embrace the suck and you're ready to have the grit to do whatever it takes to make this succeed, trust me on this, you will move mountains. I have moved mountains. There have been times when I have been given impossible tasks. No one should have been asked to do. Did it, okay? You just have to know success is the only option. Failure is not an option. I'm not going to leave a body on the field. I'm coming back with the spoils. So know what your target is. What should you be doing when? Do you know what you need to be doing so you can start to make it work for your life? Own your time, set your schedule. Don't just kind of, well, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I don't need a schedule. The schedule can change. There can be seasons. Maybe you have a time zone approach. For example, right now, if I was still in my former career in executive search, I don't do recruiting in Europe in August. There's no people there. I'm not going to do it. But I can do work in another fashion. I can go back to my golden hours AM, my golden hours PM, and my midday break. Own your time because only you are in control. I mean, you can do all the planning that you want, but the fact of the matter is you just have to show up and do the work. And if you have the physical environment in which to show up, sit on a chair, put on a headset, and press a button, TruPowur has all of the things baked into our platform with resources at your fingertips that you can be effective all the time. But you do need to give just a little bit of time and attention to how this is exactly going to go down so that you can actually realize that. I want to thank you guys all for your time and support over the last week and a half as I've started here. Feel free to reach out to me. Some of these topics we can explore on one-on-one conversations. My direct line is below, my email is below, but if you go to the quick launch menu, which all of you who have gone through my new hire orientation know where to go, you will know that there is a button to click on for requesting your CSM meeting. I'm always here to help, but there is some of the homework that you need to do without me so that when you meet with me, you don't waste my time because I really am being used by people to realize these things. And as I pressure test these things, I'm doing them as well. So reach out to me at the number or the email or click on the link to schedule a one-on-one to me and we'll grow a business that we both can enjoy. Make it a great day.
As we wrap up week one, remember your virtual company is only as strong as the foundation you build today. You learned how to set up your space, master your mindset, and structure your day for results. Now it's time to take action, show up, stick to your schedule, think like a CEO, because in 90 days, you won't just be talking about your business, you'll be walking others through the success story that you've created. This is your business. This is your time. Let's make it count and have fun storming the castle. Bye now.